The U.S. Air Force just pulled off one of the most ambitious training efforts in modern history, the Department-Level Exercise 2025, a month-long campaign that stretched across the Pacific Theater with over 400 aircraft and 12,000 personnel. This wasn't a single drill. It was a synchronized stress test of every pillar of American air power: mobility, combat, space operations, and allied integration. C-17 surged into contested airfields, F-22 Raptors sharpened their edge in hostile skies, and the Space Force pushed its capabilities in a theater where satellites and sensors are just as decisive as bombs and missiles. The scale was staggering: 50 locations across 3,000 miles, all designed to answer one question: can the U.S. Air Force, alongside its allies, fight and win at speed and scale in a contested environment? But scale alone doesn't win wars. As General Kevin Schneider of Pacific Air Forces emphasized, the true test was integrating command and control from top headquarters down to the youngest airman on the flight line. The department-level exercise forced commanders to delegate authority, adapt to unpredictable conditions, and sustain operations over weeks, not days. General John LaMontagne of Air Mobility Command highlighted a brutal reality. Moving thousands of troops and hundreds of aircraft across the Pacific is a feat no other air force can match. But it's also a vulnerability. Logistics pipelines had to be tested under pressure, fuel had to flow across oceans, and mobility crews had to prove they could sustain the fight when every link in the chain was under strain. But perhaps the most important lesson came from the joint and coalition integration. Training side by side with Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, and other partners wasn't just about flying in formation. It was about building the kind of trust and interoperability that only emerge under the stress of real-world scale. For General Adrian Spain of Air Combat Command, the takeaway was clear. The Air Force must keep pushing its people and its systems beyond comfort zones. Complex exercises like DLE 2025 aren't window dressing. They're the proving grounds for tomorrow's wars. Despite the impressive display of logistical and command power, U.S. commanders know that scale alone doesn't win wars. The DLE proved that deep coordination is what truly defines future combat. Over 400 aircraft operated across 3,000 miles. But the real breakthrough wasn't in numbers. It was in the agility of decision-making and the rapid delegation of authority to the operational edge. PACAF and ACC leaders stressed that frontline commanders must be empowered to act decisively, even when communications are contested. This is where Mission Command shifted from a doctrine on paper to a real combat tool, allowing U.S. forces to sustain offensive momentum under complex conditions. But the most significant shift was hidden in plain sight. Space Force emerged not as a support element, but as a decisive player. By integrating large-scale air and space operations, the U.S. effectively blurred the boundary between sky and space for the first time in a live scenario. General Miller stated clearly, "We need to not just keep pace, but outpace threats." This marks a doctrinal transition from air dominance to a multi-domain offensive network that's agile, layered, and coalition-based. Exercises with Japan, New Zealand, Canada, and South Korea showed that future warfare will not be fought alone. It will be fought through tight, multi-layered allied integration. The future of air combat isn't coming. It's already being practiced. For more deep military insights, follow Velojet.